Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Inspiring Joy. So for this video, I am going to take a basket and turn it into not just an ordinary basket, but a basket that looks like it has been weathered over the years at the beach seaside. So my family and I really enjoy going to the beach. We try to do a vacation at the beach at least once a year if we're lucky. So this year we are going to a beach in South Carolina and later in the summer. And so this kind of inspired me to create the look of a weathered beach basket, or a basket that if it's left outside at a beach location, beach house, beach property, over the years it would just weather with the ocean salt and sun and air and seaside and so forth. So I'm super excited to try this. I'm going to use various paints, and at the end I have a little surprise as well of how I'm going to use and style the basket. Oh, and I also wanted to say, since I'm talking about family, the summer is underway and we are in full swing with the family, getting together, vacations, travel, time together, hosting family, hosting friends. And we also have our new puppy, Bailey. So that being said, my videos are coming out a little bit later than I usually try to do. I try to do a video every 7 days, release a video every 7 days, and they're just going to come out a little bit later based on if we are traveling or if we're having family over or what's going on in our lives. And certainly raising a new puppy can take a lot of time and energy too. There are times in the evening when I sit down at 10 o'clock at night and I don't have any more energy, and that can often be my time to edit my videos and post them. So I'm still putting out videos. I absolutely enjoy putting them out there and bringing joy to each of you and those who watch them and follow me and subscribe to my channel. So thank you all for your time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the technique. So what I'm going to do is take this basket and do a driftwood colored finish. So it will look like it has been by the sea at the seashore for years. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you have a light colored basket, you will want to stain it a darker stain first. If your basket is already a darker color, you can skip this step. Okay, so I picked up some brown paint and I'm going to incorporate that into this gray. I also picked up some paper plates so I could put my paints on here a little bit more effectively than on the paper bag. Okay. I also grabbed a regular paintbrush. It's kind of stiff. I have to make that work a little bit better. I'm going to take the brown and the gray and mix those a bit together. I'm going to take the basket and do a little bit of the brown paint first. Okay, so now the basket is done in terms of the dark brown paint. So I have brown paint all the way around on the outside and the upper side, around the top lip area and the handles. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'll come back over it and use the, where'd my paint go? And use the barnwood, and then I'll add the sea frost and some of the oyster beige. So right now we're going to let the brown dry, and then I'll come back and we'll finish it up. Hi everyone. Okay, so I am back and I'm going to now take the basket that has dried, the brown paint, and we're going to add the barnwood. So let me add that to my plate, my paper plate, and I'll take the same foam brush, and now I will apply the gray barnwood paint to the outside. Hi there. So we are back inside the house. It is getting a little bit chilly outside, so I moved us back inside with the paints and the basket, and I have a really creative idea for how to use the basket and style it, so I look forward to sharing that with you as well. So I'm going to turn the camera back to the basket and finish up the painting. I'm going to do a second coat of the barnwood color just to enhance the more of the weathered look to the basket. So let's go ahead and get that started, and we'll finish up that coat and then I'll go ahead and style it. So I'm going to go ahead and add another coat of the, let me find the right paint, of the barnwood, this color here. So I'm going to do another coat of that simply because I want it to be a little bit darker of a color. This gray is coming through nicely, but I want it to be a little bit more gray and a little bit more weathered looking. So I'm going to add the barnwood color, and so I get all my paint set up here, and then I have a really neat idea for styling it after we finish the painting. Since it's a beach type theme and summer is upon us, I have an idea for styling it that I think is going to be really cute. So let me go ahead and put down the barnwood onto my paper plate. And I'll do one final coat. Now keep in mind, however you want to paint this, like I did, I started with a basket that had the light and dark in it. I ended up doing all brown paint on the outside just so it would darken the basket. If you have the ability to start with an all dark basket to begin with, all brown, all black, that's going to give you an easier effect or make it easier for you to build upon that color to make it look more barnwood or more rustic or more weathered from the ocean or the seaside. So whatever look you're going for, I would definitely start with a dark colored basket to begin with. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take let me go ahead and stand so you can get a little bit better angle here. Okay, so now I'm going to take this barnwood color and just kind of go back over it. I want to be careful so I don't get it too thick in between the slats of the basket. So just kind of a lighter coat. Just a little bit of a skim coat. Just kind of going over it a little bit more. And if it gets heavy in one spot, just take the corner of your brush and kind of feather it out. Okay. I am not doing the interior of this basket just because I'm going to use it and kind of fill it up for the most part all the way, so I don't have a need to cover all of it. Okay. Now the top part, you can go over it as well or just leave it as it is. I'm going to leave the handles the way they are. I like the look. Oh, there's Boo. Let me let him outside. Okay, so I think the basket is now the color and the weathered look that I want after the several coats that I did. So from here, I'm going to let this dry a little bit more and then we will style it. All right, so what I'm going to do is within this basket here, I have this small little pot that I've used for holding different flowers and different greenery over time. And I'm going to start out with this piece of cardboard. It was a square, and I'm kind of cutting off some edges to make it a little bit more round and angular to fit into this basket. So what I'm going to do is use this cardboard as a base in the basket, so when I put my moss in it, it doesn't just fly out the sides or the bottom. So I'm going to set this inside here. So it kind of sits in like this, not all the way down, just enough to give it a base. And then I'm going to take, I'm going to take this, this is a Forofoam. These are 4 little blocks that are in one. I'm going to set this inside for a second to see if I need it. And then I'm going to put the moss around this, but I think this might just be a little bit too high. So I'm going to look for something else that will fit better. So I went out to the recyclable, so I went out to the recycle station in our garage, and I'm going to see if I can set this into this basket as such, just to create a little bit of a lift. It might be too much. Let me break it down a little bit. Okay, put that in here. 1 second, I put this right in here a little bit like that. Let's see how that sets in here. So I think this is going to work. It's kind of resting on some of the basket pieces. So I want it to stick out or be kind of for the base to be flush with the basket. So I'm going to set it like that. All right, so I think this will work. It's just kind of resting on top of the cardboard. I positioned the cardboard against the basket to where the sides are anchored. At the height I want it to be. It's pretty good, so like that. All right, so then I'm going to take this piece and stick it on top. Well, first I'm going to put the moss in here and around the basket. So let me do that. On the cardboard, so you don't really see the cardboard in the end. I'm just kind of breaking it up in this bowl here to keep the mess as much as possible inside the bowl. My husband is power washing our deck right now. Otherwise I would probably do this outside, but like I said earlier, I came in because it was getting a little chilly, so I'm just going to set this around. I'm not going to fill the whole basket with the moss. I'm just putting it around the edge. You could certainly put the moss at the base, down underneath if you'd like to, but I want this to set up top. So I'm going to fill in around this so I don't have any cardboard showing. Are you playing with a toy? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have the container inside the basket with the moss around it. And like I said, feel free to fill yours as full as you would like. I'm just doing at the surface because I don't need to fill the whole basket with moss. That's my choice. So let's go ahead and do this. And so what I have here is I have raw sugar that looks like sand. So I've taken some raw sugar, and I have peanut butter on my arm. I just gave our dog a peanut butter treat, and it is on my arm. Oh well, that happens. So I'm going to put the sand, aka raw sugar, into this bowl. So it kind of looks like that. I'm gonna go get just a little bit more to put it in there, and then we'll add our little characters. So I have a little chair, beach chair. I have a fairy, of course. Can't have a fairy garden without a fairy. So what I'm doing is building a fairy garden to look like a beach theme. So I'm taking the basket that I turned into a weathered beachside basket, and I'm going to create a fairy garden with it that's a beach theme. I picked up all of these fairy garden beach theme items from Big Lots, the fairy garden figurines, and let me show you a few other things that I have. This is super cute. This is a little beach with a little shell, 2 shells I guess they are, and then some surfboards and a little gate to the beach. So we have that, and we have this cute little sign that says beach. And one more, actually a couple more. Also have this, beach welcome. I don't think I'll use all the signs. And then I have this sort of, it's a, looks like a little tiki bar, and then a palm tree. So these are the options of items that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use all of them, like I said, because I don't have room for all of them in this vignette, but I'm going to place a few. So before I fill, let me do this. I'm going to fill my beach, and you can fill it with whatever you'd like. I'm going to go get a little bit more sugar and fill it in. You can certainly do sand or dirt, and then maybe add some sugar or what have you at the top. So let me do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I have, this is it's called Sugar in the Raw, which I'm using for the yellow. And I also picked up this all-purpose flour from our cabinet in the kitchen. So I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna add some flour into the yellow sand, so it gives it a little bit of some dimension. White sand, yellow sand kind of effect. So let me show you on camera here. Add that in there, the flour first. And then I'm going to mix in the yellow. So I have this really cool feeling of sand. You can use whatever you like, salt, sugar, anything white. But I will say this flour feels pretty awesome. Okay, then I'm gonna add a little bit more of the turbinado cane sugar. I can see this being a super fun idea to do with kids. If you have children at home or grandkids, be very cool. All right, so we're just gonna mix up the yellow sugar with the white flour to give it a sand effect. So now I'm going to add my figurines. So let's see, I think I'm going to put the beach chair in the sand. Oh, the puppy wants to say hi. The puppy wants to say hi. You want to say? Look at the puppy. Are you saying hi? Are you saying hi? Say, this is Bailey. Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything for you other than your bone. Okay, so I have the beach chair in here. I think I'm going to set the tiki hut in here as well. That's pretty fun. And now I will say they sit well in the flour. So that is another piece that I think is good. So I'm going to put these in here, this one in here too. It has seashells and then the surfboard. I'm a huge fan of palm trees. My husband John just brought home 2 from our local store, flower store. Okay, I'm going to put that right there behind that one. And I love this saying, live, laugh, love. So I'm going to add that in here as well. And I think I'll use this one, beach. We are at the beach. Okay, super nice. Okay, so we have those in here. Now I do have this really big kind of tiki hut, or it's kind of like maybe a lifeguard stand, which I'm gonna set in the back. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. Actually, maybe I'll put it right in here. Shift that just slightly. Fairy, of course, needs to live in fairy garden. You can can certainly move things around if you need to. Go. Okay, I have one more thing I want to get. Be right back. So my daughter recently painted some rocks that we have in our landscape, and this one happens to have a seashell on it, so I'm going to borrow this from her and put this into our sand. So I'll give you a tour here in just a second of our little space. Okay, so I showed the basket with the container of the beach scene kind of sticking out of the basket, and I decided at the end of that video I did not like the look of that. So what I'm going to do is lower the container. I'm going to lower this beach scene item, this white dish, into the basket so it's kind of flush with the top. So it just looks like the basket is the beach, and it's kind of, if you can imagine the ocean around the basket, and the basket's kind of sitting maybe in the water, and this is the beach. So I'm going to rearrange it just slightly so it looks a little bit more ingrained or sitting in the basket as opposed to kind of on top of the basket. So I'm going to take apart a couple of things, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And relaxing. So that concludes our video for today. I do hope you enjoyed watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Find joy in your day. Take care now. Bye now.